All my days is about to start, you know.
Samalam, we say it. It's your boy Samdi Edgy for Junior. It's been later. You get me? Got another reaction video. Today we're reacting to another Louaista video, and it is Drake's most embarrassing beefs. I keep forgetting, man. What is my issue? Like I forget Drake's embarrassing war against hip hop media. Okay, I think I think he changed the title like at some point because this video came out a month ago. But yeah, I don't know what's my issue in forgetting the title once I start recording, because I pull up the video right before I record. Once I hit that red button, I just forget everything. But yeah, man, enough waffling said and done. Oh, a man's food arrived just in time, bruv. Man got the mix again. 2 different restaurants, chopsticks. See all of that. That's egg fried rice, Chinese curry, sweet and sour chicken, and then salt and pepper, and then Biscoff milkshake from Chillo's. Nigga, I mix up different thingies from different restaurants, different meals from different. I bet I've actually waffled way too much now, because this is a 57-minute video. So with this reaction is gonna be like an hour long. So I'm gonna start talking. Everyone knocking. Louaista the vodka.
Since he first arrived on the scene, Drake has always faced an uphill battle when it came to public perception.
We almost forgot to pray about the food. I bet, amen, let's go.
Since he first arrived on the scene, Drake has always faced an uphill battle when it came to public perception. And one thing that hasn't exactly aided his quest to control the way he's viewed by the masses is certain commentators having plenty to say about him. Because of this, his dynamics with those who make their living from commentating on the music, movies, and mishaps of rappers have been a little complicated, to say the least. Sometimes warranted, other times less so.
I really don't know. I think me and Drake will always have a love-hate relationship. It's like Skip Bayless and LeBron James. Even though he's great, I'll never really have anything too good to say about him.
Granted, he did seem to have a lot of love for people like the UK's Tim Westwood and Canada's Nardwuar.
You know how good my London accent is?
Oh, dude, when you were going...
These guys came up to me like, yo, dog, you know what it is, dog. Big up yourself, bruv. You done know Drizzy Drake, dog. It's crazy, right?
That is not a bad Westwood impersonation.
South London, dog. You know what it is. But they talk like they want to shoot you in your face.
Talk crazy.
Apparently, this Westwood guy's a joke man anyway. So this just makes this interaction even worse.
Yeah, they're just like, yo, dog, you know what it is. You're the man, dog. You're the man. You're
Bro, what? They don't say dog like that. Why is he saying dog with an American accent? They're switching back to London like loud.
Dog.
However, this was the exception, not the rule. But as the worm churned on how the world viewed the Canadian superstar, it seems like media figures of all kinds have been coming at him pretty hard, critiquing his management in the wake of his beef with Kendrick Lamar.
He doesn't get more money. Let's just assume that. But to go as far as this lawsuit goes and claims, to me says, hey, Drake, you know what this label is capable of.
That's right.
And likely they have used these tactics on your behalf.
Indeed.
Which also
100%.
is this button.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
To say that Drake took it badly would be an understatement, as he's now made his stance crystal clear.
Yo, for the hip-hop media niggas, yes, Drake has told y'all fuck you for Kyson.
Drake X Blackboy Max. What?
That's audience, Platboy Max's audience, and Bobby Alto's audience.
It's your boy Louaista, and this is why Drake is trying to destroy hip hop media. But first, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Raycon.
Move, man.
An interview with Bob. The end game Louaista open. Now, let's get back into the video. Although it's been brewing for a long time, the end game of Drake's war with rap journalists and critics really came to a head during his recent interview with Bobby Altoff. Long after those two were apparently beefing, Bobby launched her new podcast by returning to the bedroom with Drake for another informal chat. Among many other things, one of the topics of conversation turned to their previous interview and the way that he seemed to relish how much it had angered what he sees as the old guard of hip-hop media.
Me essentially like just recognizing somebody that I never met in my life, that I fully believed in, that I thought was really interesting and I wanted to have an interesting conversation with. It pissed off like so many, like all these and losers, these like, you know, like story journalists, and like this guy and that guy who like feels so entitled to this interview about, and Drake never does anything for like this type of media, and it just like made people so angry.
In fact, he believed that he expanded the horizons of where rappers could go to promote their work, and wasn't afraid to congratulate himself for doing so.
It changed a lot of things like on TikTok. It changed a lot of things like in the streaming world. Like it made people more comfortable to go sit down with somebody that they've never sat down with before.
Drizzy Drake. Say Drake. Are you trying to say you were the first rapper to hop on the stream? Huh? The first big rapper to hop on the stream? Not fact. No. I don't know who it was, but I think it was on Aiden's stream. Might have been Emily Chopper or Tory Lanez or someone else, but it was. I don't know. I don't think it was Drake. I might be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong.
You know, like not to take like overly take credit, but when I do see like somebody, you know, who keeps to themselves, like a Nicki Minaj, like go to like Kai Cenat's house, or like these musicians go to like a guy like
that's stream of generation,
studio and start making songs with him. Like I feel like we did
Black Boy Max on a generational run.
Just like you can be from two completely different walks of life. Celebrities are not here. That we're not. The goal is not to be like some unattainable head for your whole life.
It's mad how this guy still hasn't hopped on the Kai Cenat stream, and I think now, yeah, their relationship is just tarnished because of Kai Cenat's reaction to Not Like Us or something, or maybe it was something else. But that's mad. This guy's going to Aiden Ross, Ben the Don, SQC, and not Kai. That's tough. Drake is one of Kai's favorite rappers, and they kept on FaceTiming on stream, and then they met. Took photos. It's just surprising.
Drake not only claimed that he opened the door for rappers to use streamers to get their message out, but he even went as far as saying that all of hip-hop media was corrupt.
For example, like when I'm dropping an album, right? They have phone calls, like media phone calls, deciding what stance so-and-so is going to take within the first hour or within the first 3 hours or within the first 12 hours so that this person doesn't overlap with person. Well, I'm going to say that I hate the album. I don't know what it's going to bring yet, but I'm going to take this stance. Or literally, it's about like, I hate to say first responders. That sounds terrible. Shout out to the first responders. We're not talking about all you lovely people. We're talking about first responders in media and in comments. But my advice to you is the fastest comments and the ones that are meant to sit at the top with the most replies. It's a purposeful action. It is not the genuine reaction to how people feel about you.
Even if that clashes with Ebro's own claim that he had spies trying to influence things.
I gotta send a congratulations, you played yourself to Rambo, and he runs the Hot 97 social media account.
Real Rambo?
He actually works for Drake, and he lives in Toronto. And the reason I'm bringing this up is just so everybody can start paying attention to what's really happening out here. Because one of the stations we're on is Hot 97 in New York City. It's probably our, I guess I call it our flagship. And so if there's ever anything, you know, with this whole Drake and Kendrick thing, if there's ever anything going on, you'll see that like it's maybe not covering Kendrick and will absolutely be covering Drake. By the way, when I woke up this morning, every blog was posting that clip. Not the Hot 97 Instagram.
There's a post.
What does the post say?
It says, Kendrick Lamar in Toronto with tight security, flanked by a heavy police presence. And then there's a video of just a lot of police.
The reason I'm doing this on the radio, I want to see if this makes it onto the Hot 97.
No, I don't.
The headline should be, OVO Rambo, who runs the Hot 97 Instagram, works for Drake. Why won't he also post about what's happening with Kendrick? And I mean, the answer is kind of woven into the title. That's why I said it like that.
Overall, it's opposing views like these that really show us just how much there has been a growing disconnect between Drake and the media voices that once acted as hip-hop's cultural gatekeepers before the internet era. And with Drake insisting that he's reinventing the media wheel, it's unsurprisingly going to ruffle some feathers with some of his old rivals. Not least of all, Joe Budden and his crew, who felt like the reunion with Bobby was calculated and likely had an unspoken financial component to it.
Him and whatever voice he picked for the day also doing the dry humor thing with an agenda that you can see
Above all, they ultimately weren't buying the idea that it was anything revolutionary.
The reason what he did was change the way that people talk because he sat with someone that's not like
that
him.
He didn't know and he didn't have a relationship with. When you show up on Bobby's podcast and attempt the spin, it looks like you care more about it than you're letting on.
Once again, it seems like Joe and his podcast have been a thorn in the side of Champagne Papi. And ultimately, this is fitting when you consider that Budden is one of the people he's had the most friction with of all. And in all likelihood, it's contributed to the hatred that he's harboring for every older figure in hip-hop who make their living from the podcast mic rather than the studio. To understand the root of this beef, we need to go way back almost a decade prior. After a few cheerful interactions back in the day, when Joe was still an active MC, the animosity between himself and Drake began when Budden went off on Drizzy's 4th album, Views.
God damn.
Is crowned king of
Views is top tier. Like, what do you have to say about
Drizzy's 4th album, Views?
For a nigga that is crowned king of introspection, right? What has he told you different from Take Care to this album? And it's the same thing told not as dope as you already told me. 40, you sound amazing. 40,
so that's why you're complaining.
Drake, you do not. I said the other day on this podcast, I miss the Drake that starts the waves, not hops on other waves. And I'll say it again. I miss Drake that pushes the fucking agenda.
In the aftermath, Drake sent some lines in Joe's direction on No Shopping with French Montana, spitting, "I'm not a one-hit wonder, they know all my stuff. You let me turn into the guy that you almost was." Left feeling disrespected, this would spawn full diss tracks from Budden in Making a Murderer and Woke. Not to mention Drake fans infamously invading Joe's home and getting chased down the street by him.
I'm super petty in my head and had absolutely nothing better to do on a Sunday. I said, and because I'm a little off sometimes, I said, I'm gonna catch one of them and I'm gonna bring them in here and I'm gonna beat their fucking ass.
Joe Budden.
Alright, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, chill. Sir, I'm sorry for them. I'm sorry.
But even with all the bad blood between them back then, it's fair to say that as he transitioned to media, Joe seemed eager to let bygones be bygones. At times, he admitted that Drake surpassed the cultural boundaries of rap.
Drake is a superstar, a pop superstar. He has transcended hip-hop. There's nothing that anybody in hip-hop can do single-handedly to ruin him.
Facts.
That's just a fact.
We talked about that this.
That is crazy because fast forward to 2024, Kendrick, the best rapper of this generation, part of the big three, also a big head in hip hop alongside Drake because they all came up same time. Lyrical mastermind and the boogeyman. Yeah, he can murder anyone on the mic. This is Drake 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Obviously, it was a battle back and forth tracks. And like almost murders him in 3 songs, actually, not just 2. Niggas keep forgetting Euphoria was crazy. Euphoria, they're Meet the Great, they're not like us. But yeah, Drake took like a little hit. He took like a little hit to his career. But Drake is still up, man. So I thought it was gonna do more than just a little hit. I mean, he's still getting the normal hit he gets, the clowning, the memeing. But like, I thought Kendrick was really gonna do some proper damage, but then he dropped some sexy songs for you, and it just proved Drake is still Drake no matter what. So I have to say fairs and like, yeah, agree with your body.
Yes. Nobody's oblivious to that.
There were even other occasions that he appeared to have his back on everyday struggle prior to academics making that his entire personality.
Gotta lay something down if you making threats. Gotta say something now, don't hold your breath. And with him saying that to me, he was saying, listen, if y'all got a problem with all these claims I'm making, say something.
Boys, I'm really excited to announce that the Gymshark Black Friday sale is back, and it's here on the 16th of November, 4 p.m, and it's up
right now.
Is Drake scared of Kendrick? Let me get my direct question.
Yes.
Although there are other times where he has plenty of valid criticism for him, including famed breakdown of Teenage Fever, examining his lyrics through the lens of Drake being heartbroken over Georgia Smith curving him.
Oh, wait, all right, don't worry about it. Let me give you that. You say the word, I'm on the way. It's a go. Come through. Do it.
My parents asleep.
This shit feel like Teenage Fever.
She ain't neither.
I'm trying to make it sound like Kells.
Y'all gonna look back one day and say, oh, it was right there. Y'all gonna look back and be like, damn it, we were complicit.
But at this time, it seemed like Drake was flying so high that there was no conceivable way that the media could bring him down. So it was interesting when the two eventually became so cordial to the point that they appeared on Instagram Live together.
But all the other OVO dudes kick it with me.
I know. Everybody.
You're the only one that avoids me for some strange reason.
Never avoid you. I just don't see you. We're never in the same place.
Because I'm too broke.
I didn't want to say.
But in a move that corresponded with Drake's transition to interviews with people like Bobby Altoff and Caleb Presley of Barstool Sports, Joe inadvertently reignited the feud by tearing Drake's For All the Dogs record limb for limb.
He rapping for the children. Yo, dog, I had to look up how old
I remember this clip.
it was when I finished listening to the album. You are 36. Get the away from some of these younger niggas and stop fucking these 25-year-olds. I'm want to hear adult Drake rapping for adult people. I miss the Drake that was rapping for the rappers. I miss the Drake that when he dropped, the rappers hit him. About you and Kai Cenat. That's gonna sound like, hey, go find some your age.
The begging guys are not, boys are not fucking being
But instead of acknowledging that Joe maybe had a point, Drake responded by
Oh yeah, I remember this long paragraph just tearing them apart.
wealth. You left music behind to do what you are doing in this clip because this is what actually pays your bills. You switched careers because the things that pop into your brain had you broke living check to check. And the raps you write had 450 men showing up to your shows in dusty Nietzsche jeans to screw up their face to Mood Music 29 and pretend you are the GOAT. To any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset after the fact. This
clearly
is the
affected
poster
yours.
child
If
of
you can
frustration and
take your time
if
to
you
write
need to
this
put it in
big ass
simple
paragraph.
terms, Drizzy concluded, I own a 767. He owns a modest house in the 973 and flies first class on special occasions. From there, it just continued to get worse, with Drake sliding into Joe's DMs to make it clear that although his feelings were hurt, he still wanted to make it crystal clear that he felt he was above him due to what he'd achieved in music.
It sounds like he think that this is like
somebody put a battery in
beef
his back.
time. Yeah, I'm not sure why you went crazy like that. I like the album. This ain't 2016. I got no beef. Keep it music. I don't give a what you listen to in your free time because the people's opinion I care about don't have free time.
Following this explosive incident, Joe took an informal hiatus from talking about Drake at all on the pod, but it's no surprise that after everything went down, he felt Drake's war with K-Dot was his reckoning. He even famously danced to Not Like Us as he declared a flawless victory for Kendrick Lamar.
And white, and he's Jewish, and he had too much dip on his chip. You have been behind the scenes, hitting baby moms, sending money to baby. Yo, dog, you been back and sending messages to this wife. This been a sack of shit behind the scenes, and because he got fans and had Lucien, everybody just get to turn a blind eye.
Around this time, Joe revealed that he fundamentally believed Drake was a bad person amid claims that he was angry that Metro Boomin couldn't supply a beat after the producer's mom died in tragic fashion. While in another episode, he cited Drake's hypocrisy in the face of the lawsuit, where he pulled some of the same tricks in the past, including when he was beefing with Budden himself.
The Karen move. Because if you a Karen, be a Karen, but you code switching. Because you at the game with, you running around with this that has been threatening Kendrick, saying I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna do X, Y, Z. I'm not naming no names, but you know who you running around with, and you know what you're doing, and you know what you're threatening.
As Drake seemed to be miscalculating every decision he made, Joe Budden continued to scrutinize his every move. Whether it would be shading him for mean mugging DeMar DeRozan, or commenting on the ongoing legal battle as though it
I'm glad you rose.
It's never the conflict. What he did with the conflict is where I'm like, with all that standing at the game, the ice grilling, the face, we respectful, so we ain't gonna say it. You a bitch.
Despite Drake's initial silence on the matter of Budden's analysis, history should have taught us that he would eventually respond to what he'd see as Joe's provocations. Soon, it came in the form of some shots on the track Gimme a Hug, praising co-host Melissa Ford as a legend from the Six, but saying that he hates to see her with a dick, a line which they then reacted to on the pod.
hate to see it.
Her lip trembling, yeah.
Melissa Ford, you a legend from the 6. Hate to see you with a dick sucker.
Hey!
From there, he kept up the mind games, sending Melissa a care package to the podcast studio.
So you don't know who the flowers came from?
I do not know who they're from. I have no clue who they're from.
I'm gonna read this. My favorite legend from the 6. Oh, it said
No, hell no, man.
Wait.
Man, hell no, man.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
But for once, it seemed like Drake was truly on the back foot, with Joe claiming that he wasn't gonna buy into when Drizzy was at a low ebb in his career.
But yes, for me, game over at the top. It's over. It is over. And I'm glad to, because I'm done.
I'm tired of it.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Hey, Drake, don't shoot at me now that you ice cold. I'm not doing it back and forth.
But in a classic case of Joe and Drake's strained dynamic, allowing for both praise and poisonous jabs, nothing of what Drake said about him on the record stopped him from labeling Some Sexy Songs for You, alongside Party Next Door, as one of the best Album of the Year candidates.
He earned it. And I'm saving a hot take on that album. I don't want to say it now because I look like too much of a phony. But
it's not many skips on it for me.
It's better later. Like, it was a better later album.
Yeah.
With their beef heating up again, Academics claims Drake even times his releases to hurt Joe and his crew's coverage, dropping music when they're too late to fully react.
Always calling cap on Joe Budden, except I actually believe Joe Budden this time. Joe Budden records on Friday. As soon as that done recording, he did drop it. The song came out leaked. Remember, Joe went in, and trust me, I never wanted to believe that Drake even would schedule or leak something at that time. I think he definitely leaked it at that point that they couldn't have a word to say about it before their Saturday pod, which they do on Friday around 3 o'clock.
But ultimately, they are still regularly discussing him in the wake of the Kendrick beef, even if they suggested that he's no longer at the peak of his powers.
I'm not feeling any of this music, but Drake not being great hurts. It hurts the ecosystem. Things are not the way they're supposed to be if he's not great.
But if you ask Drake's supporters, the invalidity of this take is clear and stems from his name still being at the tip of everyone's tongue, including Joe himself. If any of this was true, they wouldn't be talking about him. This ain't weird to you? This guy is a corpse dead in the water and a total loser that is not from the culture according to them, and they still talk about him every minute of the day. In the case of Joe and Drake, things remain as complex as ever, and in no small part due to the fact that in spite of it all, there's an element of respect there. But when it comes to other figures in the media who didn't once have an impressive pedigree as an MC, the Six God can be much less forgiving. A prime example of a man who's been a massive contributor to the combative narrative around Drake in the media is the renowned Elliott Wilson. A true veteran of hip-hop journalism, Elliott has been a staple of cultural conversations for decades. At one stage, he and Drake were once on good terms, with Elliott and his co-host
Bro, most of the niggas Drake beefs, they used to be friends, bro. Like, life makes no sense, man. That's generally a common pattern when it comes to the niggas Drake beef.
Brian B. Miller even being granted an interview with Drizzy on Rap Radar, where they didn't shy from asking tough questions. Everything from Pusha T's beef to the long-standing culture vulture conversation, which surrounds his work with grime and dancehall artists.
I mean, musically, like when it comes to criticism, like you mentioned earlier, how some people might say, hey, Drake's appropriating this culture of music or, for your own personal gain. How do you feel about those kind of critiques?
I think that it's kind of a similar thing. They're curated by a bunch of people who just weren't on this boat to begin with. Even the definition of appropriating a culture is not supporting that culture, doing songs with people who are deeply rooted in that culture, giving opportunity to people who are in that culture. That's not appropriating. Appropriating is taking it for your own personal gain and denying that it was ever inspired from this. That's the true disservice that somebody could do to the UK, to dancehall, to Afro beats. Me, I've always, anytime I embark on one of those journeys, I ensure.
But like, when it comes to that stuff that they're talking about now, people do exaggerate when it comes to Drake. Because, like, being a culture vulture, yeah, and like doing the culture appropriation thing, it's like, let's say you make an Afrobeat song, maybe even more than one. You don't feature an Afrobeat artist. You don't claim why you don't claim the inspiration? You don't mention that it's an obvious inspiration to Afrobeat music and African artists and all that. That's when it's Wagwan. But Drake, he actually collabs with like the figureheads. Sometimes I don't know, okay, not as often, but a few open comments because Wagwan Delilah, and I don't know about that person that he featured with. So that's like an open comment in it. So yeah, bro, people do exaggerate when it comes to that stuff for Drake, but other stuff, nah. In general, Drake,
that I'm not only paying all due respects verbally, but like I make a point to give opportunity to people that I respect.
And like Drake's name being associated with that stuff is gonna help it. Cause how big he is, pause. And like he's just a household bro. Like nah, people when it comes to this, I don't agree with what people say.
You know?
See, like that's like been a constant theme throughout all of your albums. Like you give a lot of new artists looks.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, again, I'm not one of those people that can be inspired by something and be like, oh, well, that was inspiring, thanks. And then like just move on with it, like, you know, under my arm, like running down the field. I gotta like, you know, at least honor the person that handed me off the football before I ran for the touchdown.
But those days where they saw eye to eye are now a distant memory, with Drake appearing intent on ruining Wilson any way he can. Their feud began after the initial Bobby Altoff interview.
Am I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you.
Like I'd do it.
Not an it.
I know, I just said like
You do it. I asked if and you said I do it.
And then, like, what type of answer is that?
When the video dropped, hip-hop purists, Elliott Wilson included, argued that it came off shallow compared to the work journalists like him actually do. Moment of clarity. No disrespect to Lil Bo. Yachty's convo with the boy was comfy and had some cool moments, said Elliott in a now deleted tweet which took aim at Drake's new media campaign. I was more so clowning the comedy shenanigans with outsiders to our culture. It would be great to hear Drake speak to us again, even if it ain't me. Now, Elliott's tweet wasn't the only critique of Drake doing something like the Altoff interview, with even academics taking issue with this direction.
You're in bed with a fucking mimosa in your fucking hand and painted fingernails. Not like we thought you came here to be ranked.
Oh shit, academics is going off on Drake. Man, like the biggest glazer. This is a shock still. What the hell?
There was a point with Drake I thought that all he cared about was legacy. And I thought that was so dope because being a pop star, he doesn't have to care about legacy, but he does care about where he falls in the litany of all-time rappers. But even now I'm watching and I'm like, yo, he's doing an interview with like some weird niggas from bar stools. He's doing interviews with some bimbos who don't even know what's going on. And then I looked at him like, yo, maybe I'm doing too much because maybe that's just comedy. This is undoubtedly the LeBron of our generation of music, or him and Kendrick, whatever you might call him, after Jay pretty much left it. You know, Kanye's in a realm of his own. Let's not talk about Kanye, and also Wayne as well. However, the nigga don't really do interviews with hip-hop outlets. That's just a fact. That woman seems to be a woman that most likely is a Taylor Swift fan. She doesn't know about culture, and I think that's the fan base that Drake is poaching nowadays.
But even if his unofficial PR officer had his reservations, it was Elliott he held a grudge against. And as always, Drake waited for the right moment to strike. Drizzy picked his moment well, waiting until Elliott Wilson was reporting at Rolling Loud to troll him for being frankly too old for that. LOL, man shits on not coming to his platform for a second time. And now, Elliott's 10 toes down, doing Yes Jules run-up interviews at Rolling Loud. He wrote, along with laughing emojis, "Just admit the youth took over, big dog." It was deployed to damage Elliott's credibility, and may well have done that, with even some of Drake's critics believing he had a point.
Elliott Wilson is like still like, I watch his interviews and stuff, so like, are you saying it to say like he's washed?
No. I think, doing interviews and having conversations is one thing. Running up on artists at Rolling Loud, that isn't something I want to see Elliott Wilson do. For Elliott Wilson to be the world-renowned journalist that he is, I don't want to see him do that. For me, that's a young person's gig right there.
From there, the battle lines were drawn, when things got worse around the Kendrick and Drake beef. As a reporter, Elliott believed that he was doing his job by relaying the events of the lyrical back and forth, but Drake disagreed, and believed that Wilson was covertly leaking information and confronted him about it in the DMs.
He actually, I'm gonna give you the puzzle. He sent me something that I can't say what he sent me, because if I tell you what he sent me, it reflects what he sent me. So when he dropped Family Matters, it was just like, I was like, yo, you dropping this tonight? He'd be back like, yeah, whatever, LOL, like that. He sent me.
Tonight, man, I know you're out there in Venice. Stop asking me questions. Right. Wait, shit.
Rat emoji, and I'm like, I hit him with the 50 cents. I was like, what to say me for? Like, blah blah. Like, but I didn't like that shit. Don't send me a rat emoji. Chip, I just feel disappointed by the whole shit. I don't know. It just bothers me.
Since then, Elliot has tried to get on with his role in the culture, although he has claimed he is purposefully avoiding Toronto due to their high-profile tension.
Something might happen, or like you go through the grocery store, the little thing might go ding, 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 ding. You know, you didn't steal nothing because we have that trauma of us being of color, light skin or not. Yeah. So I'm like, I gotta go get my paperwork and like get checked to go into this country. Like this is big. Like this nigga does not live where we live. He has his USA roots in Memphis and all that shit, but we had to go to his country to celebrate him. But so yes, if I'm not cool with him when everybody knows I was once cool with him, I don't feel comfortable going to Toronto. And that's not even just on some like his people or whatever. It's like it could be fans nowadays. Fans is thirsty. They thirsty and crazy. Like this Trumpian type era of niggas. Like these niggas is thirsty in like one clout. Like, oh, I saw Elliot outside the Chinese spot that Kendrick talked about. It's like I don't want that cornball shit. So yeah, if I'm not 100 with this nigga, I was like, I'm not gonna go to his country.
And even though there is some real heat in him from Drake, Elliot admitted that he'd still follow his journalist instincts and take the interview with Drizzy at a moment's notice.
You at the one hotel.
Let's do it.
And you get a text from Kendrick that says, yo, listen, I have a window from 5 to 6. I'm open.
Big window.
You want to do an interview real quick?
Yes, sir.
And you say, okay, cool, I'm on my way. 10 minutes later, Drake texts you to saying, yo, listen, I'm flying out at 7 p.m. I'm free 5 to 6. If you want to get this interview real quick, let me know. I'll send the car for you.
He can find a loophole in this one. I'm going to change it just a bit. Both them text you at 4:30 p.m. and say at 5 p.m.
I'm pushing one back. I'm getting both.
I can only do 5 to 5:30.
You can't push nothing back.
Which interview are you taking?
How? You can't. You don't have the power to push Kendrick Lamar Drake.
I'm taking Drake above Kendrick. Yeah, because more.
Why?
Because that's the story.
Drake is the one who has to like respond now. Kendrick said all he's had to say. Nobody cares what Kendrick has to say anymore.
Maul asked me this question off mic. I said Drake right away too.
Baby D. Talk to him.
There's more questions that we have.
Interview.
Although he isn't exactly angling to get into Drake's good graces again either. After Drake dropped 100 gigs, complete with shots at A$AP Rocky.
Let's do it. My final unimpressed thing about those songs is I'm finding out now that those songs are actually replies to everything again. Yeah. He's dissing Rocky in his song. My mother, Mr. I ran 10 summers like mustard. Come on, dog. You're not in the battle anymore. You lost. His loss. It's over. The battle you're in now is for your legacy in hip hop. You're not in a battle with these guys anymore. That's all I have to say. I'm done.
So
that's it. Okay. 20v1's over. He's in a battle for his legacy. He's in his battle for his place in hip hop history, his legacy.
But what
not
about
with those individuals? That battle's over. He was declared the loser. His loss. The sum of his loss. That's it. So why are you dissing them?
Not her loss. His loss. Now that was cool. Like and subscribe to that.
Sap jabs at the end of the song, like, oh, goo, you diss Rocky. Rocky can't even catch a hit. You diss Rocky.
Jabs,
let Rocky catch a hit. I like that Rocky put out. It charted like 89. Slow start. Rocky's dope. We all love Rocky, but there's no need to have this back. No one's here for some back and forth with you with A$AP Rocky after you lost to Kendrick Lamar. 20v1 thing is over.
Now fixated on Drake in a way that many deem unhealthy, his former co-host Beta has suggested the whole situation has damaged his credibility. This doesn't even appear to be sour grapes, as Elliot seemed to be mindful of this, even hinting towards his standing in the world that he made a living in being hurt after it all went down with Drake.
Elliot Wilson repair his relationship with Drake.
Some would say it's damn near impossible. It's cooked.
Nothing's impossible.
I think I would have to re-earn his respect. I think I'd have to go on a run and I have to go on for media, a Kendrick Lamar like run where Elliot's back in the conversation is one of the best is doing it. His content's amazing and earn his respect outside of whatever feelings he may have about how I feel about what happened with him and Kendrick. I think it's that. I have to earn. I think a lot of people look at me that way. Like they want to view me as I did a lot of great things then. And like, even if I do cool things now, not view me as like in the top tier, get mad if I'm number 5 on a list and things like that. So I think I'd have to earn his respect with actions outside of it to then be willing to say, let's sit down and see if we could have a conversation.
With his position seeming less stable than ever, Elliot's situation is one where you can see that tangling with Drake has been detrimental to his career, making him the first true example of Drake's campaign to discredit and destroy the media taking effect. And for Elliot, the biggest issue he faces is that it's clear that at least on some level, he ultimately wants to be liked by Drake Drake, and if he let that go, then perhaps he would be immunized against it.
Number one rule. Don't beg.
Let's look at the fortunes of one man who doesn't seem to cherish Drake's respect at
See the
all.
guy.
In fact, he seems to actively thrive on his hate. This, of course, is Charlamagne the God.
I love
In
this
case you
guy,
weren't
right?
aware, the problems between them have dated back for years. When he first came out the gate, the Breakfast Club hosts always targeted him for being soft.
There's 3 sexual orientations out here. It's gay, straight, and Drake. And Drake is just a whole different type of breed. It don't got nothing to do with nothing other than he's just a different type of breed. Drake's used to people laughing at him and talking about him behind his back from high school. So that was the who's laughing at me post. I hear y'all laughing at me. Y'all supposed to be my friends. I think Drake can rap. You know what I'm saying? I think he can rap. He's a dope rapper. But I hate when he sings. And I just think personally, he's a corny guy.
And whether he'd admit it now or not, this hurt a young, less calloused Drake's feelings.
Get in the car the next morning, turn on like Power 105, and hear some nerd telling them that I'm gay, or they have pictures of me, or that to me is like, why, man? Like, for what? You know, why are you using your job to tear me down? Like, you're a real fucking loser, you know? Sorry. And I don't bother anybody. I'm not a foul artist, you know. I'm not out here looking for trouble. I try and make beautiful music, try and be a positive role model. That's it, man.
No new friends, no new friends, no.
At every turn, Charlamagne seemed intent on prodding at Drake until he finally seemed to gain some respect for him around the Meek Mill beef. Drake even famously sent him bottles in what seemed at the time like a peace offering of sorts.
Guy Drake's really living his raps, man. Somebody was gonna make him buy bottles for Charlamagne. He bought 6 bottles of Dom Perignon. You know, the whole 6 thing. You know I didn't buy these, because I wouldn't spend this kind of money with a card that says, let's be friends, Aubrey Graham. Hey, man, all I can say is salute to that guy. Salute to Drake. He's having a great week.
From there, any war between them seemed to have been forgotten for years on end. But it would be renewed in 2023 when Slime You Out dropped, with Charlamagne remaining adamant that the track was a flop.
I think Drake can rap. You know what I'm saying? I think he can rap. He's a dope rapper. But I hate when he sings. And I just think personally he's a corny guy. No new friends, no new friends, no new friends, no. Who talks like that?
In response, Drake took to IG and labeled him not only an off-brand Morris chestnut, but tried his best to completely downplay Charlamagne's cultural relevance. Are you okay, Leonard? You kinda weirding me out, G. Like you really obsessed with me or something for years. Like you look in the mirror and wish you saw my reflection type shit. Whatever you gotta do, let it out. I'm sure your 135 loyal fans will stand by you. You fucking goof. To no one's surprise, Charlamagne was pretty unmoved by it, making light of the whole situation on the radio the very next day.
But Drake and I plan this out every time he drops an album. I'm part of the album rollout. He drops a record, I critique it. It brings more attention to the record, more attention to the project. I keep telling Drake he doesn't need me to do that. He's Drake, but for whatever reason, he wants me to do it, so I oblige, okay?
I don't believe you.
I'm just telling you, it wasn't always like that, though. Back in the day, I can honestly say I was hating on Drake for fun. It was hilarious, at least to me. Like, you know, he posted one this morning that I forgot I even said, where I said it was 3 orientations. 3 sexual orientations. Gay, straight, and Drake. Hilarious, all right? But that's just hate, okay? But after back to back, and he sent the bottles with the note, let's be friends.
Smoking on that Biscoff polluted straw.
Whenever he drops certain songs, I will hate on them in order to bring more attention to the record. I don't think he needs it. I think it's crazy that he wants me to still do that, but you know.
So you actually like Slime You Out, whatever.
No.
Then came the familiar turning point of the Drake and Kendrick beef. In the wake of Like That dropping with that explosive K-Dot verse, Charlamagne already felt Kendrick would have the upper hand when it came to bars.
Right now, Kendrick is sticking the rap, just waiting.
I got confidence in Drizzy.
Waiting.
I got confidence in Drizzy.
Confidence to do what?
To rap.
Yeah, he can rap, but he ain't got nothing on Kendrick Lamar.
No, he gonna come back. I don't know when.
He better
hopefully
keep
soon.
Envy, love it, man.
You don't think so? Sexy Red. That's what you better keep doing.
Nah,
he got no mind.
Yeah, we acting like Drake ain't got boss.
Drake,
Is that what
Drake
we saying?
is phenomenal. Kendrick and Drake would be a phenomenal matchup. I'm just telling you, he don't want it with Kung Fu Kenny. That's my point.
Bro.
He don't want it with Kung Fu Kenny.
However, he did feel that Drake applied pressure after push-ups dropped.
Just gave Drake all that props and now he fired back. He goes right back. He goes right back.
I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm just sitting back watching as a hip-hop fan. But the truth is, I don't care about any of those other rappers. I don't care about Ross replying to Drake. We are here for the main event. I'm taking no more fights before we get to
It was a 20 view 1 year, but the whole world cared only about Drake versus Kendrick. That's actually funny. Bro, these...
To see, which is Kendrick. And Kendrick, you on the clock.
Yeah.
It's all on Kendrick now. Kendrick has been calling for this. He's been asking for this for several years, and he got what he wanted. So now it's time to show improvement.
All in all, Charlamagne believes Kung Fu training with
the 50 bad 29 for the dog. Ooh, come make pleasure. Oh, turn pleasure. So, nigga, I said that I know you mad. I entered the Kabul Village, charge under my seat. I do it as dad. I gotta go back.
Put up a noble fight, suggesting that it was only some tactical errors that killed him.
No.
Correct.
You lost because of strategy.
You lost because of fucking strategy.
But I think
go back to the song list. Okay, so Beat the Gram comes out, neutralizes Family Matters. This is where Kendrick Lamar wins. On May 4th, he did what we all thought Drake was going to do.
He put out the bop.
He put out the disc
Didn't
bop.
it?
Yep.
That is
Put out the
crazy.
disc bop, you win. And by the way, it's not
Then
like
because the
Drake
whole
is dead
world's
after
dissing
Not
him
Like
now.
Us drops. You know when Drake dies? When he drops The Heart Part 6.
no, for real.
And you know
He
why?
died, but he died at
Number
Euphoria,
one, you
bro.
wanted to get back at Kendrick because Kendrick did your move by giving you a back-to-back, and he made the back-to-back 616 in LA. So you're doing twice.
What?
You're doing two things that Drake does. I give you a back.
And then Kendrick was moving like Drake. I never even sat down in deep. Kendrick was really moving like Drake while dissing Drake. So add fuel to the fire.
Back, and I give you
That's the
time
GOAT
stamp
for
right
you,
there.
bro.
That's your move, Drake. Drake is stewing on that, clearly. Okay, I'm gonna give him the Heart Part 6 then, because that's Kendrick's series of songs. The Heart Part 5 was the last one. He gives us the Heart Part 6. No, Drake.
And Kendrick still dropped Heart Part 6.
Yeah. A song.
And as Drake scrambled to handle the fallout, he foresaw a world where Drake brought it to the courtroom.
One, what is the next move for Drake?
Lawsuit.
No.
He's gonna sue. Listen.
Nah.
All the investigators on Twitter have been
This
pulling all
guy
the stories.
cold.
The investigators on Twitter ain't got shit to lose. Let me tell you something. Drake is half white.
Exactly.
Okay?
This is what
Y'all about to
talking
learn.
about saying he's gonna carry.
Drake mama's side of the family is like, oh no, Aubrey. No. This man is out here calling you a pedophile.
Not
Listen,
Aubrey.
there's
Oh,
probably
no,
people
Aubrey.
at Nike. There's probably people at Universal. There's people that got real vested interest in Drake. That is a multi-billion-dollar entity.
Yeah.
They're like, you gotta protect your name. F all that rap shit. Call your cousin. Call your cousin who's the lawyer.
Call your cousin.
Right?
But then he just gonna prove Kendrick right.
Who said Kendrick was wrong? Drake knows he's half white.
No, I'm just saying what Kendrick was just saying how he don't know his black. Like,
He's not suing. He
I'm saying, like, I can see him suing.
And then he
Then
sued.
on out, it appeared that Charlamagne was all in on Kendrick and only furthered his position since.
Successful, what is the big issue?
Yeah, Drake just need to shut the F up forever. And I want Drake to know that there's no bigger stage than culture. As Kendrick said, you can't fake influence. Way before the Grammys, way before the Super Bowl, that record was already out of here, okay?
Yeah.
And Drake gonna have to sue the world. Because I watched everybody in MetLife Stadium sing that song word for word last night. Kendrick didn't have to say a word. He did say a word.
As for Drake, he claimed he was suffering, clowning his now infamous speech at Nostalgia in Toronto, which was supposed to be defiant, but came across more like the words of a scorned ex.
About nostalgia. One thing about nostalgia this party here, my real friends are definitely in the building. But I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna come to a point in life where people you thought were friends, or people you thought were close to you, they might switch up, they might try to move funny with you.
Damn, Brody.
They might do a lot of things to you. You'll come to that realization, where you at in life, you've probably been there and you'll be there again. That's how life is. But look, sometimes it's you
Damn, Brody.
by yourself. Sometimes it's you alone with your thoughts. Sometimes you know what
To just, he threw to the song.
And also,
That's tough,
to be
man.
honest, I thought that Kendrick's execution of this battle was flawless. The strategy, the songs, everything. But I didn't think that it had that much of an impact on Drake. Drake hurt. Oh my God.
And this is all. This
He
is
is
also
hurt.
in the mix of reports that Drake unfollowed LeBron, DeMar DeRozan. You know, those are two people who were at the Not Like Us Juneteenth.
No, man.
DeRozan was on the stage, so, and I don't know his reasoning reasons for unfollowing, but you know, that is a thing.
You can't go on an unfollow spree and go on a stage and cry about, you know, not having no real friends or whatever that was about, and then going to Beyonce, Me, Myself.
As if it wasn't already clear by then that he felt like Drake was mishandling everything, Charlemagne then dissed him over the very lawsuit that he'd predicted.
But even with Drake's huge fan base, don't think for 1 second, whatever the label UMG was doing to promote Not Like Us, they were doing the same thing for you your whole career, okay? If one of those diss records you put out would have taken off and been a cultural phenomenon like Not Like Us, the record label would have pushed that too. How would you be clowning Kendrick right now if Kendrick said, you know, UMG, you didn't have to let Drake put that record out accusing me of beating my lady. You didn't have to let Drake put that record out saying my child isn't really mine. I'm trying to get you to see why you look like a complete and total sucker, Drake. Okay, not to mention, once again, you are a huge artist, but don't believe your own hype too much, because those same tricks you are accusing UMG of doing for Not Like Us, they have done for you your whole career.
Courtesy of these many takedowns of him, it's really no surprise that Drake sees Charlemagne as everything wrong with the media. Particularly when he's admitted that being in hip-hop media makes discussion of Drake not only unavoidable, but profitable.
Drake has a thing with these motherfucking chains, though.
What is that?
I think he's really a fan. I think that the thing, you know, I don't even like talking about Drake, because I feel like I just be talking about him too goddamn much.
You a fan, you a fan, you a fan.
What's wrong with that? But he makes headlines. What am I supposed to say? It's like he does shit like this, and it comes up. We know we supposed to not talk about.
This is the genius of him.
Yeah, and Drake always comes up.
It is brilliant.
Okay.
I don't know if he's comfortable with the negative, which I would put on him, but he's great at staying in the headline.
Yet, even with everything that Charlemagne has done to Drake and said about him, there is still that element of understanding that the Breakfast Club host would never go down without a fight. But where there seems to be understanding of the platform Charlemagne has and its immovable nature, there are other figures in hip-hop's journalistic community that Drake really seems to have active disdain for. This is where Rob Markman comes in. Best known by modern audiences as head of artist relations at Genius, Drake has sent plenty of sly shots his way, even popping up in the comments of Joe Budden's Instagram Live to throw some hate his way. Play story of Add It On right now and see if it rings off. I promise the only person that's gonna know the words is Rob Markman. With comments like that, it's obvious that he viewed him as a nerd or a hip-hop head who would favor Pusha over him. But it seems that even if Drizzy himself didn't value Markman, his team did. During the beef with Kendrick, Rob exposed alleged underhandedness from Drake's team and trying to get favorable coverage out of him.
I tell you one further, and I'm gonna be honest, and I haven't said this, and I was approached during the battle by a team connected with the OVO side and asked me to show the boys some love. You know, again, I was being as unbiased as possible. I was calling it like I said, but they asked me, yo, we know you're unbiased. Really said it. We know you're unbiased, and we like that you're unbiased and you really try to call it straight, but can you show the guy some love? And no money was offered. No, absolutely no money was offered. They kind of offered some things, some information, some access, and say, yo, and we'll make it that you could play his songs in your videos. You know, we'll whitelist it. Ultimately, I declined.
And at this stage, it became a personal issue for Drizzy.
Now, let me remind y'all, Drake don't like this nigga at all, okay? And, like, you know what's so funny, too? These guys know it. Like, Drake tells them. Like, when Drake talks to them, he'll tell them, yo, dog, you're a goof. Your opinion is bad. You're the worst journalist. Fuck you. Out of here. Like, Drake, I ain't gonna lie, when I see how Drake talk to these niggas like directly, it's disrespectful. Like, Drake is mad that's disrespectful. This is how Drake's talking to them. And I'm trying to tell y'all, Drake didn't like them before the battle, during the battle, or after the battle.
Undeterred by the chatter, Rob claimed he didn't buy Drake's justification for the UMG lawsuit.
To be called a pedophile in any capacity sucks. I get it. That's a tough stain, and personally, I don't believe that Drake is one. And I haven't met anybody in real life, meaning off the internet, who believes that Drake is a pedophile. But this is a rap battle, and a lawsuit against UMG or Kendrick or in any shape, form, or fashion, it just ain't the way. The one thing that Drake and his team is lacking in this is accountability. If you knew you were up for renegotiation, why engage in the battle anyway, knowing that a loss of any kind can weaken your position? But once you engage, why not just keep it a friendly fade? Remember, this battle really started about who's the best rapper. You know, the big three is just Big Me. In my opinion, it started getting personal when Drake mentioned Whitney and push-ups. Yes, then Dot accused Drake of being a bad father. And then Drake accused Kendrick of domestic violence and family matters and said the baby might be Dave Freeze. Being labeled a domestic abuser is tough, man. Being labeled a pedophile, nasty. But you can't slap someone in the face and then get mad when they punch you in the nose.
Although there are other times where he set any personal feelings aside, he even cut him some slack in other conversations, going as far as to defend his position in hip-hop to Justin Hunt.
It's past California love. Like
it's way past like beef in general. Like,
so
that song is a unifying anthem.
So no, absolutely. So, and I get this a lot, and I'm, as we're having this conversation for anybody who's interested, it's like people want to know where you stand. I've always been clear of where I stood and how I see things, but I'm not ready to throw Drake out in the trash. Oh, he was never hip hop. He was never one of us. Listen, it's a song. Not Like Us is a song, and I get it. Hip hop is better off for that Drake run. It took hip hop to another place.
If this was an opportunity to appease Drake or his fans, then it clearly didn't work. Because soon, a resurfaced clip of Rob with Tory Lanez, where the journalist couldn't finish Lil Wayne lyrics, gave Drake a chance to jab at him.
Some niggas cry wolf. I'm on that dry kush. But when it come to this paper, I stack bucks. You heard what I said? I can put you on your feet or put some money on your head. Life is not cheap. You're better off dead if you can't pay the fee. Shout out my nigga Fee. See, every nigga at the door, they'll get a key. Outside looking in. Now tell me what you see. This is about money. This is bigger than me. I told my homie, don't kill him. Bring the nigga to me. Listen, don't miss. You're fucking with the hitman. Kidnap a nigga and make him feel like a kid again.
Kid again. Well, that shit crazy.
Of course, this goof couldn't finish the bar. Free Tory. But if I start calling you names, then you're gonna sue. After this little clapback reference to the lawsuit, Rob sounded off again on his own platform.
So I'm sitting there like, oh, we got jokes. A little bit of name calling, but we got jokes. I got jokes too. But I gotta watch what I say, because he might sue. Can't call no names.
Rather than simply feeding into the drama, he ultimately suggested he was above it.
I don't do personal attacks. I don't call anybody out their name. We all here just talking music. We talking hip hop. I just call it like I said. I also keep it all about the music. So all that abs, braids, family court, all that stuff, like I stay away from it. If it's not like directly involved with the music, I tend to stay away. And I never lied to y'all one time. Y'all may not agree with my opinion, but when it comes to facts, I don't lie. Never lied to y'all. 21 years in this thing, never lied to the people not once. So here's my thing. I know the storyline's gonna attract the new energy, new viewers, just a whole lot of new whatever, right? So what I'm doing. But for me, nothing changes. You know, a great writer once wrote, gotta know yourself. And I know myself, man. After this, I'm not coming on here with no axe to grind or just being disrespectful, because that's not me. But this hip hop thing, this dedication to telling our stories the right way, the best way we can, yeah, that's me. And we all spend a lot of time online, so we know what happens next, right? There's gonna be a lot of fan accounts, a lot of bots, a lot of negativity, a bunch of lies spread. I could see some stories being planted and all that. That's just the game today, but you're not gonna catch me acting out of character.
Interestingly, he also said that there was some private correspondence between the two, which he has opted to keep under wraps.
Yeah, you got jokes, I got jokes too. So despite the interaction, despite the DM that he sent me last night, that I'm gonna keep that to myself. But despite that, I'm not gonna change who I am. I'm not gonna act out of character or come up here with an axe to grind. Because this shit is about, to me, this shit is about hip hop. It's about us. It's about all of us. I always talk about hip hop being communal. You know what I'm saying? This channel is nothing without the people who watch it. Your favorite rapper is nothing without the people who listen and who genuinely and truly support.
The incident didn't merely blow over either, as others in the space were aggravated by what they deemed an unprovoked attack on Markman.
Rob Markman a goof. Rob Markman is comfortable in his skin. Never did nothing wrong to nobody.
Rob Markman has been one of the most fair people to cover and has so much more integrity than most people in the media. There are plenty of goofs that Drake has aligned himself with simply because they blindly follow everything he does. Rob is just not that. But whether or not you agree with how he treated Rob, this latest butting of heads with the journalist makes one thing clear. Drake's days of playing ball with the hip-hop media are essentially dead and buried. For some people who are inclined to give Drake the benefit of the doubt, it's because he's done attempting to fight through their agendas. For others, the argument would be that hip-hop media just won't cut him some slack he'll receive in other areas. And among the ranks of journalists and authors on hip-hop culture, this explains his pivot to streamers and comedians over anyone in the media. In the view of Somaya Krishnamurthy, these new avenues he's opened up function better in terms of what he's looking to achieve. And these days, that's getting hold of the narrative after the most turbulent period of his career.
And I think for him doing Bobby Althoff's podcast, it's a perfect place for him. She's not going to put anything out there that makes Drake look bad. She's going to softball him. Everything's going to be about him in a positive light. critique is viewed in a negative manner. It's like critique equals hating. But in fact, the best critics, they come from a place of love. The reason so many of us wanted to be hip hop journalists is because we love hip hop. So it's so much easier to surround yourself with sycophants, surround yourself on platforms that are essentially there to be your press release.
Where, as in a conversation with someone like Bobby Altoff, he can address the tough issues on his terms without any pushback.
You're a culture vulture, or like like people will describe the collaborative efforts that I've put forth and the artists that I've picked up and lifted up or shine a light on as me taking, they'll put a negative spin on it and try and tell me, that it's a self-serving thing or whatever. And I think I get really sensitive about that. And I think at that moment I was just like, well, you know what? Don't even worry about it.
Above all else, this seems to be the common theme in what Drake looks for in a media personality to do business with these days. For example, his trip to XQC's stream let him get shots off with no attempt at intervention.
Yo, chat, love, biggest sixer. Don't ever forget it. Don't ever forget it. Let these guys try and tell you different. Promise. Trust me, like I said, mind, body, and soul. I'm here. What's up? Jesse. Love. Thank you. This guy's like a fragile op, but it's a good song though,
It's a fragile op. Okay, interesting.
It's like a fragile op, but it's a good song though.
Okay, so what does that mean, a fragile op? No.
Chat knows what I'm talking about. Fragility.
Interesting, actually.
Hey, we need, no. All right, I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah,
if I come back.
Cook a script.
Cook a script.
Okay.
Elsewhere, Aiden Ross let him get off his jabs at K-Dot, even sunning him on his own platform when he felt like it.
Hey, they were saying that you pressed me earlier, like that, like you're like, why do you want to know where they're from? So like, what's up, bro? Huh? They were saying like you tried pressing me, like, why are you trying to big bro me? I already accept the fact you're big.
Man, no, man.
Why are you trying to why?
Bro, good Aiden didn't flinch.
Huh?
Because Drake is not bad in any way.
Why are you trying to big bro me? I already accept the fact you're big bro. But at the same time, I gotta stand up for myself.
They said I tried to press you?
They said you tried to press me.
Yellow, man.
That's alright. It's big bro, little bro energy, but
I'm not never pressing you. You're my dog.
Come on,
I'll
bro.
press someone for you though.
Oh, you will?
Yeah, of course. What do you mean?
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Would you ever get in there?
No.
What's the bag to get you in there?
What's the bag?
Yeah.
Who do you want? Oh, I'm not even asking.
Eddie, we.
Oh,
I know who I want you to fight.
I wouldn't do that. If we're fighting, we'll fight at Hino's gym or something like behind closed garage doors.
Yeah, you don't gotta really.
All the while, anything he's done that's controversial or perhaps questionable gets largely ignored. And this, in the eyes of Math Hoffa, is why he's evading the hip-hop media.
This is a great look for Bobby. Is it a great look for Drake? I think Drake has been ducking hip-hop media. I think there's so many things that I would love to ask him right now that he might not enjoy answering. You know what I'm saying? I think it might not be the best look for him. Like, if he went on Drink Champs, he got lit, started talking about, definitely feel like Drake has been taken, like, he's just mad at all of us. He's mad at all of us.
Although it doesn't look plausible that he'll ever return to talk to Budden, Charlemagne, or anyone else like that, Rory still thinks there are ways he can engage with more conventional outlets, while Maul thinks there's no way to finally quell the narrative.
I can be objective and understand why Drake would want to avoid hip-hop media or avoid any real conversation until the time is right of when that album comes out and he does want to address everything. But, perception is still a thing.
Who would you like to hear him with?
If Drake went to Drink Champs tomorrow, I'd be ecstatic. If Drake went to Hot 97 tomorrow, I'd be ecstatic. If Drake went to Charlemagne tomorrow, I'd be ecstatic.
No matter who you want Drake to sit with, once he sits with them, people are going to say, oh, they didn't ask him this. He didn't talk about that. He didn't address. And even if he does, even if they ask all the questions that we all want to hear answers to, however Drake answers it, people are going to feel a way about that.
Listen,
it's going to be think pieces about his answers. It's going to be clips about his answers and his streams about how come he didn't answer this. It's like everybody just shut the up.
Somebody perfect right now. Angie Martinez.
If he goes to sit with Angie, you know what they'll say? Why he didn't go to Charlemagne? Why he didn't do this?
And beyond that, things are now too far gone that no matter what Drizzy does, there are some people who will never alter their viewpoint.
Talking to Drake on camera.
Why is that?
It's not going to satisfy any body. No matter what he says, no matter what he does, no matter what album he puts out, people already have it in mind that
this
don't
one
like
of the Drake
Drake and that
lasers.
don't like. Cool. It doesn't matter what he says. So when people get all worked up about him announcing who he's sitting down talking to, I'm just laughing because I'm like, no matter who he talks to, people are still gonna feel a way about it.
With Drake now basically renouncing the whole media attached to the genre he came up in, Drake's focus on streamers and internet personalities has been met with a mixed response. What Kendrick said, you can't fake influence. Kendrick stayed out the way and let his music speak for itself. This grown dude is almost 40 and is trying to get approval from 20-something-year-olds. This strikes on one of the biggest issues with the new ties to people who made their name on Twitch and Kick, and its idea that he's pandering to their audiences. Even his known cheerleader Ak can see through the reasons why he's latching onto this blossoming market, but that ultimately he's slightly out of the age bracket.
They always said Drake is in a fork in the road. They're like, Drake is seeking and probably chasing some of these newer audiences. However, they'll never love him like how they love the current guy that represents them. Like, for example, my favorite artist of hip hop is Drake. That's not Kai Cenat's favorite artist, right? His favorite artist is A Boogie. I don't think if A Boogie drops something, Kai Cenat would be saying, this shit's I think what Drake wants doesn't necessarily want him, but also the old media that wants Drake don't want them. It's a bunch of people that are trying to get to either platforms or audiences that intuitively don't want them. And it just kind of goes in, it's like the symbolism of life. Usually in life, whatever you want at the time doesn't want you. And it is what it is. You get what I'm saying?
In a rare case of him really critiquing Drake's strategic direction, academics argue that his attempts to engage with that fan base isn't organic in a way that's only gonna hurt him in the long run.
Towards that audience. And it's more of a profound like, whoa, when that audience or the person that controls that platform kind of rejects whatever he was doing. And it just reminded me of that saying. It says, listen, the more as time goes on, the more you try to appeal to a particular demo, they'll never love you as much as they love the current guy.
Because if he's only trying to appeal to the hyperactive audience associated with streaming, then it's ultimately going to box him in creatively.
Or maybe what's going on contractually with you, or where you are in your life, you're about to turn 40. His audience don't want to hear that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a fork in the road. Like, they don't want to see some introspective shit, right? They want quick turn up Molly music. And by the way, Drake does a good job of doing that. But it also shows, for me, and I'm just watching here.
And now, some hip-hop heads believe this was a misfire. He abandoned the audience that would have rode with him until the wheels fell off, only to look like the old man at the club trying to impress the kids. Above all, the biggest problem is that sacrificing hip-hop media ties to focus on streamers may have all been for nothing. Because if he was concerned that the media couldn't be coerced into doing his bidding or putting forth his viewpoint, it looks like the same might go for streamers. This was evidenced by Kai Cenat watching the Iceman 3 drop, as though Drake were just another up-and-coming rapper he was reacting to.
The biggest waste of my goddamn.
I just like this as well.
RP to Armani. RP to Armani. RP to Armani. Yo,
Oh, Mafia from 3 as well.
I can't fake it. That was ass.
Yes, Kai.
I can't
Yes,
fake
Kai.
it. I actually can't fake it. That was so ass.
There's a good chance that this would have taken Drake aback, but Cenat's own fans were by no means shocked to hear him focus on authenticity first and relationships second. Kai didn't slam Drake. He slammed his new music and stream because he was being honest.
That's the difference that these men don't understand. We're critiquing your work based on our opinions. How we feel about each other shouldn't change. Like, I get it, yeah, you put blood, sweat, and tears into it, and then the person you're just posing in a photo which says, nah, man, this ain't it. And then you're feeling away. Don't. Bro, I can't wait for the day when I call someone's album Nyash. Not even ass. Nyash. Yeah? And then he hopes on my shoe next day.
It sucked. Reminder, he's a Drake fan, but he's not a lying Drake propaganda machine like academics and Aiden. He's ultimately accountable to his audience, not Drake. Now, his fans are gassing him up once more to go to war with Kai over what he said, demanding Drake be treated with the respect they deem he deserves.
Yeah, man, Kai and Drake
I can't fake it. I can't fake it. I actually can't fake it. That was so ass.
You just sit there, the dude does this whole thing, and you go, that was ass. Now, it's one thing, bro. It's one thing to not to be like, oh, you know what? Like, if you want to give it a rating, like, oh, that was a 6 out of 10 or that, whatever. Like, respectfully, right? But when you just go to someone's art and go, that shit was ass, that's literally fighting words, bro. That's literally.
Yeah, I hear it. It's kind of like disrespectful, but he's a streamer, bro. You don't mean to take it that seriously. It's entertainment to just say the word ass. People just never understand, man.
And it's like, it just is. It just is. And the reason I say art is because that's what it was, bro. And I love that people go like, oh, dude, that didn't even make sense. But meanwhile, if it was K-Bot, what the f*** would they say? There'd be entire hour-long breakdowns
like, come on, bro.
of each frame.
You're just contradicting yourself.
Did you see when Kendrick was facing the right? That's because of the comp, dude.
Although, if he wants to retain the love of the streaming world, then coming at its current king really isn't the strategy he should opt for. Particularly when he's already burnt so many bridges in the hip-hop content space that he's written it off once and for all. Whether Drake likes it or not, his disavowal of people like Button, Charlemagne, Wilson, and Markman doesn't change the fact that he will always be within their content agenda. And perhaps even more distressingly for him, their opinions will continue to be valued by the very audiences that he's fighting to retain the love of. Now left out on a limb, Drake is proving that he doesn't need hip-hop media. But that doesn't mean aligning with the youth-led influencer and streamer world is gonna do anything positive for his public image as he continues to age before our eyes. Particularly when he's given the middle finger to an entire industry that now has no reason not to want him to fail when he's made it deeply personal time and time again. And if you're wondering why this video didn't mention his beef with the Needle Drop's Anthony Fantano, well, that's because we already discussed it with the video on the screen.
Man, oh man. Drizzy, Drake, Dream. Yeah, man. I always speak my mind. Always speak my mind during the video, so I've got nothing to say after the video. But yeah, man. Someone said Drake lost the battle with the black way. I lost. Drake lost the battle with the black way and the white way. Oh my day. The thing is, yeah, I don't think modern hip hop is modern hip hop without Drake. But him, well, what was I gonna say? Oh my days, yeah, I just wrote, yeah, man, yeah, I got like and subscribe. I did the